kids, welcome. Finally got the show started up 15 minutes late today. Had a Windows update this morning, and I'm running through my checklist. I'm actually ahead of schedule all the way down, and about 8 minutes in before we're supposed to start, I checked my NDI and NDI's host, and this is like I think the second or third time this has happened after a Windows update. So I'm like, got to remember that for next time. Check NDI sooner. Because it requires essentially a reinstall. It's the strangest, oddest thing to make it to work. Deepwater's out there. Deepwater, did I fail to? I DM you? I did, didn't I? Oh, jeez. Hold on, I'm doing it now. I'm like, I think I found the button. They changed the interface, and I was like trying to find it. We talked about good UI on the interview. Is that it? Whispers, there we go. All right, here we go. Boom, there's the whisper right there. Here it comes, coming to you now. Give me a sec. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. There's your instructions in the whisper, Deepwater. Apologies for that taking so long. I did try after the show. I looked again at it. It's a tiny little icon that moved to the upper right, and the icon was partially obscured by, you can see it right there. I'm holding it up there by the number 3 there circled around. So anyway, took a while to find it. I got the icon now. And there you go. Codebase Alpha is with us. Thanks for coming. I normally do my Codebase Alpha dance because, that song, that entrance fanfare is so fun. All right, so what are we doing today? So yeah, I was a little distracted by getting everything set up. Let's jump back to this scene right here. We're working with, we're going to animate Sprinkles. Sprinkles, the battle unicorn today. We're going to be working in TypeScript, SignalR, a little bit of C#, but mostly down on the TypeScript side of things. And I just realized we're going to have to restart the overlays. I think, is that right? No, wait, it's going to be the data we're going to send is coming from the D&D app, which we can restart without restarting the overlays. So I think we're going to be okay. There won't be interruptions in the test, in the edit test phase. So we'll be good there. What did I want to show you kids? Oh, right. Sprinkles, the battle unicorn. That's Sprinkles. So Sprinkles is a character on an animated puppet, just like Fred is an animated puppet over there. Sprinkles is going to have different animations. The thing that's, we're at a point now, though, where I got some anxiety. Because we are animating, we are pushing the limits of my poor little machine, is what we're doing. And when I say pushing the limits, I essentially have a sense of where the limits are. We've pushed them in the past, and I'm in today's show. I think we're going to push past those limits, and we're going to see evidence of that in terms of performance problems, perhaps in terms of not being able to animate, that sort of thing. Why is that? Well, because Sprinkles is big. I don't have that open, but you just saw Sprinkles walk across. That's how big he is. Yeah, Codebase Alpha says, time for a new computer, honest. Yeah, I'm like, I've been starting to play for the first time with an idea of a dual system, one system to stream and the other to create all the graphic effects on. I've been playing with that. Part of the problem is for the Dragon Humper show is we have 5 live video feeds that are all green screened. So I've got 5 live video feeds all green screened, plus we've got the overlays, all the animation, all of this stuff, and we've got our particle system. And I'm actually suspecting at this point that our particle system is causing problems because I've noticed that the scroll sometimes doesn't open and or sometimes just kind of freezes when I've got all 5 videos going as it's opening up. And I'm looking at those particles not moving, and I'm thinking, okay, I think what's happening is we're requesting an animation frame, I think, because I'm not an expert on this, right? But my theory is we're requesting an animation frame, and we're taking forever to draw. And somehow I suspect that we're maybe, even though I have reviewed the code once, but I feel like we're coming in and requesting more animation frames, but we're not even done drawing the first time. So that's why I think it's locking up, but I don't know. The problem is it only happens when we're live, and getting 5 cameras all going at once is a little tricky. 5 different Skype feeds is a little tricky to test under and strain the system under. So I have to give that some thought. So that's it. Let's take a look at the assets we've got out here. And we'll, I generated a few since yesterday. So we've got idle, for example. So idle is, and here's the other reason. Not only are these large animated images, right? Those are big. What's the size on this thing? Yeah, it's 1200 by 660 about, right? It's a lot of pixels that we're pushing out with transparency. Not only is it big, but look at the number of frames. Starts at 0 and goes to 200. I've got 200 frames just for this idle. For this graze, I've got, goes from 0. I've got 300 for the graze. So 500 times 1200 times 650, that gives you a sense of how many pixels just for the back. Plus, I did this. I said, you know what I want? I want to be able to put a horn of a different color. We got a raid coming in from C# Fritz. Kids coming in here. Let's get some music playing here. Get everybody happy with some nice music. You came in just in time, kids.
Gen 7, where are you? We need your help.
Get him, Gen 7. Get that guy. Get him. Get that guy. Whoa. Look out for Yoda. John Valjean 80 is out there with us. Unhip Coder's with us. John CVV is with us. Gareth, welcome. This raid brought to you by... Whoa, look out, buddy. You can't put that hat on me. That hat won't fit me. It's too big. Whoa. That's right, kids. You're with Mark Miller. I went to the Mark Miller School of Acting. That's why these are so good. Holy cow, what are we doing today, kids? You got here just in time for something new. We are animating Sprinkles, the Battle Unicorn. This is Sprinkles coming in here soon, next to Fred. There's Sprinkles. Sprinkles the Battle Unicorn for the Dungeons & Dragons live streaming show on Twitch that we are going to go live with on Sunday. Live. So we are our first debut. You want to go out there and follow. If you like comedy and you like Dungeons & Dragons, I think you're going to like this show. I'll give you a link here in the chat room. It's that one right there. Yeah, Sprinkles the Battle Unicorn. Yeah, C# Fritz says it's going well. I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, all our bases belong to C# Fritz Coding Squad. Welcome, everybody. So we are animating this guy, and I was just showing some of the animations. Now, this is a big project. This is a gonna tax my system project. We might find today that we have essentially broken my system. The laptop I have is at the time I bought it, which was about almost a year ago, I think, was the fastest everything. Most memory, fastest hard drive laptop available out there. I find with this show, the live Dungeons & Dragons stream that we're setting up for, we are taxing the system like crazy. We've got 5 video feeds coming in. We're green screening all of the video feeds. We have special effects going front and back around everyone. Give you a sample of some of those. I think I can do that right now. Let's see if I can do a, there you go. There's an example of the special effects spinning around the live players like that. That's a health increase right there. Similarly, we've got if you take damage, oh, sorry about that. Sorry, Fred. Stay safe, buddy, okay? Right? Fred's animated as well. Fred is not as big of a deal as this guy because this guy is giant. And also, to make him look realistic, he can't be doing the same thing all over the place. So we're going to have to come up with some creative solutions to that. But we've got grazing. We're going to do this, by the way, in TypeScript. So we're going to be working a lot in TypeScript on here. But we've got grazing. We've got an idle right here. I've got some transitions also, idle to attack. So he moves from an idle position to an attack position. The attack animations are essentially in a loop that started at the attack stage and end on the attack stage. He's also got a walk animation. I don't have the walk built here yet. Here's the push-up attack. The other thing I've done that's a little crazy, as if I wasn't pushing the system enough, is I've isolated the horn of the rhinoceros all by itself. And the horn, I'm going to cycle the colors through it so it goes rainbow colors. And this is, again, is all for the game of Dungeons & Dragons. It's for the spell effect Find Steed. And the steed that's coming back is Sprinkles, the Battle Unicorn. Hold on a second. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Fairwings would die laughing at that. You need a desktop with a really good GPU, says Codebase Alpha. Yeah, there might be there. I've got a really good GPU on this already. And the strain does not appear to be on the GPU. The strain is, I think, really more in OBS with all of this work that it's doing. So it's kind of like that's the space I feel like I need to offload a bit. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, maybe it's going to be a desktop in the future. Don't know. But yeah, we're pushing the limit here. So there's that. Now I also have some brand new ones that I just created. Now I created these in Adobe After Effects and Adobe Premiere. Adobe Premiere doesn't have the ability to crop down and get it to the smallest size based on all of the frames. At least not that I'm aware of. It doesn't have that feature. So these images that I've generated out here are 1920 by 1080. I want to crop them down to the smallest possible size. We wrote an app yesterday to do this for us. I'm going to use that app on it now. I've also separately built out the horns as well. So the horn moving out here is in this space here. These are also 1920 by 1080. So we're going to run the app on these right now. Let's go find that app. We called it conveniently the Creature Cropper. We'll grab one of these frames out here and we say crop, and now it's going to start scanning through those files. It's getting each one of those. And there you can see it's kind of calculating what the size of each one of those are. You know, I want to apologize for the flicker there. I thought we fixed that problem yesterday, and now I feel like it's back. So, a little bit of flickering there. So it scans all the files first, then it crops all the files. The other thing it does is it puts out a text file as telling us where this upper left corner is. We need that to coordinate so that we can overlap the colored horn in the right spot. So let's do the same thing now for the horn as well. So we did these. This is the stab attack. And here comes the horn. Crop. How was your stream, Jeff? Digital Drummer's out there. Hey, Digital Drummer. So what's cool is it's going to give us a smaller image, which means lower impact when we open these up. Now, one of the contingent, I've got a couple contingencies if we just break the system today. One of them is to decrease the size of the animations. Another one is to radically decrease the size and make it so that this guy is maybe only half of a guy. So we only see half of the rhino come off from half of the screen. So I could cut this guy in half. I can also drop the frame rate as well. Right now, these are for 30 frames a second, and some of these animations are several seconds long. Like the grays is, I think, 10 seconds long is what I think it is. So yeah, we've got a 10-second graze. We've got a 200 divided by 30 is about a 6 second. It's about a 6 2/3 second idle. And so the idea is, and the other thing I can do too, though, is because the idle and the grays end and start at the same spots, I can reverse them and they generally look okay. So I could do an idle followed by maybe a walk, transition to a walk, step back or forward a little bit, then an idle again, or then an idle in reverse, or then a graze in reverse, or then a grace. I can work through a bunch of these different animations that we've got to make it look like it's alive and real. That's the goal. The other thing that we're going to have is the ability to shoot out sprinkles from the horn as an animation. So we'll be able to hit a button, just like we can hit a button on Fred. Right, Fred? You're controlled by me, right? And we can hit a button, and Fred does an animation. The players in the game will be able to hit a button, and sprinkles will shoot out from the horn some magic dust, or maybe do an attack. If it's his turn to attack, he'll do an attack animation, that sort of thing. So we'll make sprinkles seem and feel alive. That's our goal. All right, now that I've put these here, I'm going to follow my convention by creating a folder for the stab attack, like this. I'm going to just put all those files inside of there. Like that. And I talked about this a bit, but I didn't say this text file just tells me the left and top position of that guy, and for the horn, it's left and top position. So I can see the difference between the two, so I can offset this by the right amount so it exactly overlays. That's our goal. Okay, so now with that, let's set this up so we can actually make this work. Since we have the assets. Inside of my overlays, this is where I've got my bots for OBS. I have 2 pages. Oh, the other thing that makes this, as if that weren't challenging enough, I want sprinkles to be both behind the players but be able to walk off screen and then come in front of the players, which means he needs to appear on 2 overlays, which means 2 overlays are going to have to load up all of this data. So it's going to be a big memory hit on both of these. Now, I've also considered maybe offloading, not having some of the data loaded up. At times I'm loading on demand, but the problem is the load on demand is like, for this many files, is probably about a 3-second hit or something like that. So I'm not sure. We're going to be, we're putting pressure today on the system. We'll see what happens. So inside of here, what I've done in prep for today's show is I've added a SignalR command called animate sprinkles. And animate sprinkles right now, if we're inside the TypeScript, if we just come in here and we come out to the function, there's nothing happening inside it right now. So the command data comes in. It's really, we're going to need to kind of pass this off to the front game and the back game is what I think we're going to have to do. I've also added a file called sprinkles.ts, which has nothing in it. So that's kind of where we're at. We're at basically just prepped here at this point. Let's first set a breakpoint in our connection right in here, and let's actually do this. Let's do a console log animate sprinkles, and then we'll just put out what the command data is, like that. Like that. Now, I've got the overlays running. I'm not going to refresh those yet, but I've also got one of these guys out here as well running, which is just a backup of, which is essentially one of those different pages right here. If I refresh this right here, I don't really need to do it now, but I'll go ahead and do it now. It's all right. Because now we need to send a command out is what we need to do. So now what I want to do is go to my Dungeons and Dragons app. And this is the Dungeons and Dragons app here. It's in WPF and C#. I want to create some kind of button somewhere to, I don't know, I kind of want to feeling like putting it over here on this tab, or maybe create a new tab called test. Let's do that. So we're going to use XAML hot reload, one of my favorite features of Visual Studio. And we're going to modify the XAML right now live while it's running. So the idea here is, and I do this all the time on this show, because I'm a huge fan of edit and continue. So the challenge here is, can we get sprinkles up and running inside of that, and actually see sprinkles inside of there from our Dungeons and Dragons app without closing down and restarting this Dungeons and Dragons app. So we're basically allowed to refresh this guy, but that's it. And can we get sprinkles showing up here? That's what the challenge is going to be. So we'll see if we can do that. So first now, XAML hot reload. I got to find out where that debug button is, and I need to augment it. So that's going to be over here in my main window and view designer. Let's do a search for debug. There it is. I got a tab item right there. I'm just going to use selection increase to get down to the end of it. Yeah, it was kind of big. And let's create a new tab item. Do I have a template for tab item? Looks like I do. Okay, so we'll call this, I don't know if we really need a name, but I'll call it TB test, like that. The header's going to be test. And at this point, we should already see it. There it is, right there. Sweet. It's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience. Are you talking about what we're doing over here? Or could be recommendations for setup for what? What did I miss out here? Setup, setup, setup. What are you talking about, Codebase Alpha? Let me know. Make sure I'm paying attention to you if I need to. Okay, so now I want to add a button in here. So like this, what you were trying to do. Okay, good. Well, I'm it's barely an inconvenience. Yeah, this is often me. You know, it's like people are pointing out, or you can see there's the edge of the cliff right there, and I'm just like, let's get closer. You know, oh, sorry, Fred. Social distancing, Fred, buddy, got that? Fred says he's got it. Okay, so we're going to call this button test sprinkles. I don't know. Or maybe test sprinkles appear, something like that. Test sprinkles appear, like that. We'll pop that in there. Show sprinkles, like that. So now back over here, edit and continue. There it is right there. So we've got that nice button. Let's add one more to hide sprinkles. Change this to show sprinkles. We can only have one item inside of a tab item. That's okay. We're just going to do a stack panel and make it vertical like that. Pop those buttons in there. That should be good. What's my problem now? The tag is mismatched. Wait, here's the problem. Lost the quotes. Okay, great. All right, so we got show sprinkles, we got hide sprinkles. There we go, right there. Actually, let me. Let's also do margin of about, say, 8 around this thing. Like that. Right there. All right, cool. Cool enough for now. Now we need to hook up some events. We can't do it because we're running, so we need to hook an event somewhere in the app. We need to look at find an event handler for something that we're doing here. So, can I easily get this, click this button? This is on the group effect. I can. Okay, so now that I'm at a breakpoint, now I can come back over here into the XAML, come down to the those two buttons that we just added, and now we've stopped, we can now come in and say, let's add a click event handler, like that. Now, the thing about edit and continue at this point is that even though we've named these new controls and XAML hot reload, these, we cannot see these. For what we're about to do, it doesn't really matter, but it's just something to keep in mind. You cannot see these until you recompile from the code behind. So it's just one small little detail there. Hold on one second. I just need to check an incoming text from, Karen Chikati. So I'm like, you know, watching this coronavirus thing like crazy and monitoring, you know, kids all over the United States as well as folks nearby. And in the course of the last 18 hours, I found out one of my kids is quarantined in Seattle, not sick, but her roommate had someone at her work who was sick, so she's quarantined. My daughter has been sick and is trying in Washington, D.C., my other daughter, trying to get a coronavirus test, and as of yesterday, still not able to do it. She'd been sick for about a week. Just found out my son, who is in Rhode Island, is sick, not doing well. Other son checked in Boston, is doing great, so he's good. And then locally, where I've got 3 kids locally here in Costa Rica, just found out one of the people that works at the school has been sick, who's been working sick for a while. Now is her husband was in contact with some of the people, the family who came to Costa Rica with coronavirus. So we're like, all of a sudden in the last 18 hours, you know, just in the process of checking on how everybody's doing, it's like, if it's affecting, it feels like it's affecting our family in Seattle. It's affecting our family in Washington, D.C., and in Costa Rica, and in Rhode Island. Like, everybody we know is like either in those 4 areas is either sick or knows somebody with a direct link to the coronavirus. So like, we're now at a point where like, we're gonna take our kids out of school today and you know, practice some serious social distancing. The one thing I'm a little bit worried about, normally healthcare here is awesome, but I don't think the healthcare in Costa Rica can handle a widespread outbreak. I just don't think it can. And so I am a little bit worried about that, you know, their ability to handle that. I haven't seen that. I just don't think they have the people or the resources to be able to, for example, you know, track and follow you know, all the contacts of somebody who's now diagnosed with coronavirus. So, so we're bracing for impact, preparing for that, working out contingency plans. I'm also speaking at the end of this week, or not this week, this month in Austin, VS Live Austin, and then I'm going from there to Denver Intersection. And both of those, I'm a little bit apprehensive about both of those as well. Really not so much for me as a speaker, because I can certainly stay 1.5 meters away from everybody if I need to, but which is a practice that they're using in China to stop it. But I'm more concerned about the attendees, because as long as you're sitting close to each other, right, that distance, you know, it is it seems like a seemingly higher risk environment. So anyway, just got a text from my son, found out that he was sick and not feeling well, and I'm just like, oh God, come on. Let's try to get more data here. Let's get more data. We definitely need more data. All right, so now I've got my breakpoints. Cool and cool. Now, are we running? No, let's run it again. Because testing the group effect, I'm not sure what that actually did, but I don't care. Let's come over here now and do a show sprinkles. All right, cool. Now we're going to go over to our Hubtastic base station. which is what we're using to send signal R. And I think I've got a, what is it, animate sprinkles. And I'm going to send some data. We're just going to say this like test data, like this, or maybe just show sprinkles. Uh-oh. Got it? Climb. Just get out of here. Jetson's in the house, kids. We'll call this show sprinkles is what we'll do. Let me close this down too, because I bet that's going to boost up some, free up some CPU. All right. Okay, so we're going to say show sprinkles here. We are in the process of getting sprinkles going here. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to say hide sprinkles. Like this. And now we're just going to run it. Clear those. Now let's go to this guy. And let's just see if we can see, even though it says it's waiting for player data to be initialized, let's see if we can see the console log message. Yeah, nice. So this shows us that signal R is working. Right here behind my head. There it is, right over there. Right there. Hold on. One more time. Right there. So signal R connection is working. That's excellent. Now we've got to figure out what the data is that we're going to send. And I don't know what that is yet. I guess we'll start simple. Like right now we're showing just a single string. We're sending a string, but I'm kind of imagining we might do more. For example, we need to track whether Sprinkles is in front of the players or behind the players, which layer he's on. That needs to be tracked. In fact, let's do this for a little bit. Let's work in TypeScript for a bit, and let's start filling out the Sprinkles class. So we want to create a new class here. We're going to call this Sprinkles, like this. I think we need to have an enum that's going to be, I guess, which layer he's appearing on, and it'll either be back or front, like that. I wonder if layer is too generic of a name here. And then we want to have a variable of that type layer. I'll just call it layer, like this. And we're going to say by default in the constructor, the layer is equal to layer back. So we'll do that. Sorry, this dot layer is equal to layer dot back. We need an X and Y position for this guy as well. So X like that, and Y like that. Okay. We also need a way to draw him, to paint out Sprinkles. And let's look at, hey, I'm trying to talk. Not now. Not now, pudding. Pudding, no! Pudding! 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 Pudding. Really? Like, it seems like you wait for me to be right in the middle of a sentence. Yeah, we miss you. Of course we did, buddy. Glad you're with us. Glad you're here. Jetsam says always room for pudding. All right, we need to draw this. Let's go look at how we're drawing right now. It's been said that I have the bestest timings ever. I believe you. Okay, so we've got two of these guys out here, Dragon back game and Dragon front game. And these are responsible for the drawing on the two different layers. Let's go look at, do I have a draw function in here? I got an update screen call. So update screen is in Dragon front game, and I bet it's in Dragon back game as well. There it is. So sweet. And it goes out to a super. They both descend from, what, Dragon Game, I think is what it's called. All right, sweet. Here's what I think we're going to do. I'm just thinking about the Z order of where, within each of those two layers, where Sprinkles will go. And I'm thinking it's going to go, he's going to sit on top of the time. The time clock is like right down over there. That's the Dungeons and Dragons time clock right there. No, he's going to be behind the time. Is what he's going to do. So this, I think it looks like this. This dot draw Sprinkles, like that, is what it's going to look like. We're going to pass in the context. We're going to pass in now. And I think we're going to also pass in a layer dot back here. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to say declare method, draw sprinkles. There it is right here. Like that. And I'm going to also take this and go to the Dragon Front game and do it in about the same spot. So when he's in front of everything, he should be behind the blood effects. And is he going to be in front of Fred or behind Fred? I think he's got to be in front of Fred. Like that. The only problem is if he walks in front of Fred, I think the front effects include the hands for Fred is what I think they consist of. Spark, smoke, shower, water. No hands here yet? Maybe not. Okay, we're good. Fred's hands. Fred is... Yeah, so Fred, draw. These are the hand effects. Okay, cool. So Sprinkles is going to show up there. Now, but this I want to change the layer to front. So we're saying where we're drawing from. What does Fred have to say about that? One of your children are barking. Yeah. That's right. Test blood. What does Fred have to say about that? What do you have to say about that, Fred? Come on, Fred. Stay up to date with the chat room, please. All right, so draw Sprinkles. Now, I'm not going to actually declare it here. I'm going to go back to Dragon Back Game, and I'm going to take that draw Sprinkles, and I'm going to cut it to the clipboard. We're out, and I'm actually going to go up to the Ancestor class, because they both need to have all the resources to make this work. It's, like I say, a little crazy. I'm going to go up to Dragon Game, and I'm going to declare it here. Like that. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, so we need to create a new instance of Sprinkles in here. So we're going to say Sprinkles of type Sprinkles. Like that. And let's find our constructor. Is our constructor really that far away from the... see if I can tab to next reference and find it here.
Copperbeardy is in the house.
Copperbeardy is in the house. Copperbeardy grows sunflowers. Copperbeardy, glad to have you with us. How you doing, buddy? Are you good? Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. All right. I was hoping to find a constructor in there using that tab to next reference, but we jumped right over here. So do we really not have a constructor? Let me just visually go through it one more time. There it is. Okay. So now I want to say this dot sprinkles equals new. You're not going to help me out here. Sprinkles like that. And that feels pretty good. All right. Then in the call, where were we? We were like, what is it? Let's go find sprinkles. Right here, draw sprinkles. Here. Then we want to say this.sprinkles.draw, and we want to pass in context, now layer, which layer we're in. And so the idea is this. Sprinkles is going to know what layer he's on, right? And I'm going to have essentially 2 instances of sprinkles. Or at least, is that true? Yeah, I'll have 2 different instances of sprinkles on the 2 different layers because they're inheriting this sprinkles. This is in the ancestor class. And so, but sprinkles is going to know whether sprinkles is on the front or the back. And both those instances will know. And so if the sprinkles is on the back and the layer we're coming in is from the back, we'll draw. But if sprinkles is on the back and it's the front layer, we will not. So that's kind of the idea there. That's the logic. And so let's declare this. And we're going to say, hey, if layer is not equal to this dot layer, then get out of here. Like that. Then we need to draw. Well, to draw, now we need to use our sprites class that we built here earlier. And we need to load up some sort of asset out here. I'm going to say, I almost want to say grays. And to be fair, each one of these actually, these are always going to go in pairs, I think. There's going to be a collection of sprites for the rhinoceros, the body, and a collection of sprites for the horn, I think almost always. Every single one of these pieces. So I'm wondering if I should create a special structure that has those 2 collections of sprites in it. Because I kind of need to pair them up. How do I do? Oh, check it out. Who could this be? I feel like Mr. Rogers, Rory. Your mic may be off, buddy.
Or maybe just not in the right place.
Not in the right place. Okay, no worries. Yeah, because I was thinking, wait, I do hear background sound. Rory's here to save the day.
Ooh, that's a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
Is the day burning down around us? Doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, you know what? Codebase Alpha's got great advice here. He says, get the simplest thing working first. That is not this show, Codebase Alpha.
That's what I say to
Mister?
everyone during the day. And then I come here.
Yeah, and then we're like, wow, we're writing code. Oh my God, that's the show. That's it. That's the whole show. What
Writing code like a bright and shiny battle unicorn.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, here's your bright and shiny. This is. So happy. All right. So
That's all the awesome right there.
Good suggestion. Jessam says start at overkill and go from there. If we did things the right way, life wouldn't be fun. Yeah, everyone should have a Rory in their lives. I agree. Holy cow. What was it? It wasn't yesterday. Was it last Thursday? It was either yesterday or last Thursday. I don't remember. The whole world is fading in terms of when things happen to me. But holy cow, you were so good. I think it was last Thursday, wasn't it?
A little while ago, we had a good day.
I was like, you were making every suggestion you were made. I was like, oh yeah, That's brilliant. That's the way. Yeah, yeah, right. Okay. And then by the end of the day, I was just like, I wish I was as good as Rory, you know, like that. But yeah, Rory's awesome. Rory is so good in just about every way, right? It's like, and in the
So
way,
much to live up to.
and in the ways that he may not be good, it's not really that we know he's bad. It's just that we don't know. We have just no information, right, Fred? Yeah, we just don't know in those areas. He could be bad, but dude, we just don't see those, right?
I'm hiding all my crazy.
All right.
Effectively.
So let's create just a simple sprites piece right here. We'll call this like body idle body. Yeah, I'm feeling like the need to. I've got horn and body animation separately, and I really am feeling like I want to join them. Holy cow! I'm like now starting to feel it so much. I'm doing it. You can't stop me. So we're going to say this is going to be a I don't know, a horn body pair, I guess. Like this, it's going to have a name property. It's going to have a list of sprites. So we're going to call this body, and we're going to create a new one called horn. It's going to have a constructor that I think is going to take a name for the like a file name or a file base name. Oops, like that. It's going to have a and it's going to have a horn offset X. And I think if I just take that part I want to change, like that X, can I hit Shift Enter here? Nope, I can't do it here. All right, hold on a second. I want to report a code rush issue here because I want this to be improved. This is selection duplication. I want to be able to just select the part, the X. I want to hit Shift Enter, and I want, instead of that, I want to get something. Yeah, that doesn't even work either. I want this working like it does in C#, where I select only the X, I hit Shift Enter, it adds the comma, it gets me here, and then now I'm here. So that now all I need to do is type in the Y. I want that for TypeScript. Please make that happen forthwith. So let's make that a feature request, and we're going to say selection dupe for TS, like that. Okay. In case I haven't said this, if you haven't heard this, I am. Hey, baby, how you doing? How's my beautiful wife? Beautiful. Beautiful as usual. All right, cool. I'm good. I'm good. Everybody okay? Are you free of coronavirus? You can't get